Welcome back to the Claude series. This is episode 8, and today we are talking about pushing content from Claude to a Duda blog using the MCP. Duda blogs are effective for AEO rankings, meaning the more you blog about relevant topics, the more crawler traffic you're going to get, the more answers your business is going to serve, and the more the customer, in this case for us, is going to generate results. And so it's important for us that we can automate this process. So this is a step-by-step video on how to take a conversation in Claude and publish to the Duda website automatically. Let's get to it. So before we get into the technicals, I really want you to understand what the purpose of this to start in the first place is. As you can see, this is me searching a standard phrase like development pricing. You can see that the AI overview and the search engines and the AI algorithms are picking up an article that was written that directly reflected what that term was about. So this is a whole page about our pricing, our ownership, and our process. The key here is getting the website to show up for terms that aren't specific to your brand. So this is an example of a keyword that reads companies that get rid of gnat infestation. And you can see our client is showing up with the AI article that was generated based on what I'm going to show you here today with content and the exact same workflow we're going to show you. Here's another good example, WDIR termite inspection near me. You can see it's referencing content that we added using artificial intelligence. And then there is powder beetles in furniture removal near me, same exact example. Using artificial intelligence, we can actually just go ahead and get those things to rank. So I'm going to show you how to do this process directly inside of Claude using the MCP manually with a transcript. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to analyze the customer's data and start creating this kind of stuff automatically. So to get started, we need to know where the site is, and the site needs a blog function. Any website at DevelopMark is already going to have a blog function, so this is going to be really easy for us to execute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the transcript that I did in our last video on how to create AI transcripts. I actually think this is a really good piece of content that we can put on our website, and clients should probably know about this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this transcript, right? This is going to be the thesis for our content, or this is going to be the prompt for what we're going to make. And I'm going to head over to Claude. I'm going to use the skill create blog. This is a skill that's going to allow me to skip all the instructions. It's going to know exactly what to do. Because I'm in the DevelopMark project, it's already going to know the site ID. It's already going to know which Duda site ID to post this in. And then I just gave it a little bit of context here. Now again, you don't have to give it all this context. You could hypothetically just do this and let it run, but I like to give it as much context as possible. I find the outcomes are typically better. Then below that, I went ahead and pasted the transcript, which was exactly what I heard through the Pocket MCP of the actual transcription-first culture. Something really important to note, like I shared with you in the last video, is under instructions, Claude's already going to know what that site ID is going to be. So it's not going to have to paste that. It's already going to know that that's the actual Duda site ID there. So I don't need to paste that. It already knows it at the project level. So I'm going to go ahead and run this prompt. And then what that's going to do is it's going to take this information, it's going to draft it directly inside of Duda. And then I will go ahead and show you how to optimize that, post it, publish it, index it so that AI algorithms start picking it up. All right, so you can now see the skill got the blog post from the website, made sure it wasn't going to duplicate what's currently there, created it, wrote it, gave it a title, submitted it, gave it an AEO focus, gave it some practical measures, etc., told me some of its best practices, and now it wants me to do something next. Like I can publish it, I can schedule it, I can send a Slack notifications, etc. So I can continue to do actions after this, right? As I've mentioned before, you can push these kinds of things if you want to. But let's actually go into the site itself now, and I always recommend putting this in draft because you don't know what it's going to do sometimes, or if you get really good at it, you can auto-publish. I don't recommend that. I do recommend just taking a look at it the first few times. So let's just give it a quick glance. At a quick glance, it looks really good. I read this a little bit as I was just scanning through it, but to me, it looks great. There are some small things that I would change, like maybe the size of the fonts. I would keep them consistent, but you'll even notice that Claude actually internally linked all of the content. So this is a piece of content that we've created before. This is a piece of content we've created. This is a piece of content we created. And this is a general call to action that's going to go to our Contact Us page. So overall, it looks good. Even checking the mobile version, it reads well, right? So this looks like a piece of content that I would feel comfortable publishing directly on our website. If I go into post settings, you'll see that it created a URL slug, which looks great. It created a title. It gave me the author. It added a picture. I can add a tag for every single post. I highly recommend adding a tag. So for this one, I'm just going to name AEO. And then it gave me a title tag. It gave me a meta description. And here on the image alt tag, I could just go ahead and turn that on so that it describes the image to people who may have some accessibility issues. I'm going to do some small optimizations on this else, and then we're gonna go ahead and push this live, and that is how you create a Duda blog. So I've pretty much gone ahead and made all the optimizations that I can do. Now I'm gonna click the publish post button, and I should be able to go into the site. In this case, I'm going to go to the blog section, and as I navigate to the blog section, you'll now see that that post has been successfully created. I could go in here and change the thumbnail. I could go in here and change pretty much everything at this point, but I'm gonna keep it as is. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just republish the site. So what that did is it allowed me to draft that. Now I see the post is actually on the actual website. So I'm gonna go to the actual post itself. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the URL. I'm gonna visit Google Search Console. I'm gonna go to the property of where my site is. In this case, it is just developmark.com. And I'm gonna go ahead and paste this URL into Google Search Console. And this tool is going to allow me to index this page directly inside of the Google search results and for Gemini, etc. So AI engines are gonna be able to pick this URL up, and I'm basically telling the search engines that this URL exists. I'm gonna do the same thing in Bing. So I'm gonna go to Bing Webmaster Tools. I'm gonna click on Inspect. Bing is gonna tell me it's not there. I'm gonna request indexing. This is absolutely critical because some chat engines cannot use Google because they're competitors. So it's important that it's also available on Bing as well. And so that went ahead and requested to be indexed. So now that that's all set, I'm gonna go back into the chat, and I'm just going to go ahead and prompt it one more time to send an email to the client letting them know that this was published. Now that I'm done with my session, I'm gonna make it full circle, use the client update skill, give it some context, and send it off. What that's gonna do is it's gonna draft an email to the client. In this case, it's myself because I'm testing this. And it's just gonna let them know we've added a new article, we went ahead and published it, here's why we did it, etc. So this is a really nice way to just close it out, let the client know what we did so that they're informed, they're communicated, and utilizing that client update skill, which I personally love doing. There's my confirmation. There's the draft. If I go to Gmail, I can see that this was drafted. It tagged me and Team Magenta. It put the client name. It put what was done. Then it wrote exactly what was done. Put the live URL. It gave it a reason. It gave it how that's going to impact us, next steps, etc. So of course I would edit this or copy edit this just so it doesn't sound too much AI if that's what I'm going for. That is full circle how you use the Duda MCP and Claude and transcripts to create content at scale. This video, I just did it with one, but as you can imagine, you can do this at scale for every single conversation you have. Let's recap. What is the primary objective of applying an AEO focus to blog content? The answer is to ensure all the different AI algorithms and chat engines referenced from the content show up. In the Claude MCP, what specific material is used as the thesis? That's the transcript from a previous video recording or just an audio file, however you gather that transcript. It is marketing gold. After publishing a blog post in Duda or the CMS that we're using, what is the manual process for ensuring Google finds it automatically? It's pasting it into Google Search Console and indexing the request. Why is it necessary to submit a new URL to Bing Webmaster in addition to Google? Some AI engines don't rely on Google's index, so they rely on Bing for data. So if you want to be there, we've got to make sure we're optimized for Bing as well. What is the purpose of utilizing the client update skill? And this is just to tell the customer what we worked on, because show and tell, evidence, all of that stuff, everything that we're doing and communicating it is just as important as doing the work itself. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.